everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. Love the corner box here. Captain America 332 from 1987. Great, absolutely great, fantastic, iconic cover here by Mike Zeck with Klaus Janson from Daredevil with Frank Miller. Look at this amazing cover. I absolutely love this cover. And I love this Captain America No More. This is what we have been building towards since I started the Mark Gruenwald run. So, and the choice. So we're in Washington, D.C. very early in the morning here. And we got this guy here. He says, winds picked up, overshooting my mark. Got to pull right. I can still make it. So we can see the Washington Monument right here. We have our credits here. Mark Gruenwald is the writer. He will set a record for most issues written by a single person on Captain America. Tom Morgan is the penciler with Bob McLeod is the inker. Bob McLeod, of course, was famous during the X-Men run with the second X-Men run with oh my goodness, Dave Cockrum, and then he's also the penciler with of New Mutants, the early goings. So, all right. Here we go. So again, good perspective here. Love the screen tones being used here. Just a few more feet. I'm doing it here. So we got a nice vertical panel here. Come on, baby. Yeah, touchdown. And then the wind kind of takes him, but you can see here he's hanging on. And he's got a thing here. It says, make war some more. So he's taking out like a short table here that is actually going to go to the top of the Washington Monument here. And you can see here he sets it out. I made it. I'm on top of the world, Ma. Washington's warhead has landed. So it looks like this guy's calling himself Warhead. So here comes the police who report what they see here. And he's taking a few things here. He's got a megaphone, a canteen, rations, a pistol. But then he loses his rations from the wind here. And I love it here. Now I got no chow. And then he goes, who gives a rip? Real men don't eat what my mom packed anyway. So. And so the rations fall here. And this cop asks, hey, what are you doing? And he says, I'm helping the arms race, pig, with my very own thermonuclear device. So now it's 7:45. We're at the Pentagon here. I love this where Captain America here says, I'm not sure what time the Pentagon opens for business, but there's one way to find out. He's Captain America, for the love of God. I'm sure he's got clearance on being able to enter. So I guess the door is locked for Captain America here, and he's like, oh wait, someone is certain to show up sooner or later. Yeah, like oh goodness gracious. And so it's 8:07 and they're checking him out. Of course they're reading him out, and he says, the medal you're reading is my chain mail shirt. And I love the way John Cassaday uses or draws him, and it's he is one of the ones that created a more modern look toward Captain America, more than this older Kirby style. They would just draw a few of these of the chain links, but they didn't draw the whole thing. So they make sure that it is Captain America. So he's gonna see General Wexler here. I love this. Sorry for the security check. Anyone could be wearing that costume, All right. God, I love comic books. In the 80s, where they were still a little hokey, just a little bit. They were growing up, but good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway. So I have a playlist for Captain America. Check it out. I have John Byrne's complete run, and I started with the building up toward Captain America No More. So feel free to check that out. So he's telling him about GI Max, which happened last issue, which I did cover here. And so Captain America says here, "Far be it from me to tell the military what to do and with whom to do it, but if the lieutenant activities were officially sanctioned by this office, I wish to voice a citizen's protest. Dealing with Curtis Jackson, alias the Power Broker, in order to acquire superhuman soldiers is reprehensible in light of Jackson's criminal record." And of course, the general says, "I can't comment, but I'll look into the matter." Typical bureaucratic answer, of course. He does kind of throw a little ding at him that Captain America stares. "If you permit me an observation, Captain, it seems you are a bit sensitive about the subject of super soldiers." And he says he has a meeting and he can't talk anymore. But suddenly come these two guys here. They said Farber and McNulty, FBI. Who? They were not wearing these 50s things back then. I guarantee you these hats were not being worn by the FBI in the 1980s. So they say they've been trying to get a hold of a week, and he's like, or Captain America says, "I've been involved in a case incommunicado." That, of course, means that with no communication here. So Captain America says, "What is this about?" He says, "We don't know. We're just here to fetch you." And so we're back at the Washington Monument. Now it's 9:20. And you can see that this guy is starting to shoot. So he says, "No helicopters. I'm armed and dangerous. Any attempt to subdue me, and I'll open fire to the crowd." And of course, they all start to run away. So now it's 10:02. And here we have this committee and this. Oh, this is so funny. These kinds of chairs or like nobody sits in a table like this. So this guy here says, "If it isn't the elusive Captain America," and Captain America says, "Who are these people?" "That's the presidential seal behind them." "Wait, I recognize General Halston and the heads of the CIA and FBI. The way this room is set up is something like out of the Spanish Inquisition." So they said here, "Captain, we are the Commission, a special appointed task force operating under the direct command of the President. Our specific purview is the nation's special operatives, namely those who the media have dubbed super people. We were the ones who instigated the formation of the Freedom Force when your Avengers proved less than cooperative." Of course, he back in Avengers Annual 15, which I have not covered. Captain America remembers that. So he says here, "Recently, the Commission has been evaluating you, Captain America's first special operative. This is what we found. 1. The U.S. government totally financed Project Rebirth, the program designed to develop an army of super soldiers back in 1941. 2. You, Stephen M. Rogers, volunteered to undergo the super soldier experiment and signed a contract stipulating you'd serve your country in an official capacity until the president relieves you of duty. And of course, it says here, if you'd care to examine the documents, and Captain America says, no need. 3. When Project Rebirth was discontinued upon the death of its principal scientist, you were the sole recipient of the treatment. According to official documents from the FDR administration, the concept of using you as a symbol of fighting America originated in the president's office, perhaps with President Roosevelt himself. 4. You verbally agreed to serve your country as its shall we say, official mascot. This agreement modifying but not negating your previous written commitments. Mascot, that's kind of funny. And Captain America's like, uh-oh, I don't like where this is going, essentially. 5. The uniform you now wear was designed and constructed by employees of the federal government. 6. The shield you carry was designed and constructed by employees of the federal government as well. 7. The very name Captain America was a creation of some long-forgotten person on the federal payroll. 8. You disappeared on May 2nd, 1945, but were never officially declared dead nor discharged from your duty. Hence, all of the terms you agreed when you volunteered for the Project Rebirth are still legally binding. The bottom line is we want you to work for us, again, as per the terms of your contract. And Captain America says, but since my revival, I have been serving my country according to that agreement with the Avengers, with S.H.I.E.L.D., and on my own. My record of public service is well documented with. And then that guy cuts him off here. You failed to make an important distinction, Rogers. You are not Captain America, Captain S.H.I.E.L.D., or Captain Solo. You are Captain Avenger, Captain S.H.I.E.L.D., or Captain Solo. You are Captain America. Your service to those independent agencies, regardless of your nature, regardless of the nature of your activities, does not constitute an acceptable alternative to fulfillment of your tour of duty to your country. And Captain America says, why? After all these years, why? After all these years, are you just now getting around to informing me this? And he says that the commission cannot be held accountable for the oversights of previous administrations, Rogers. We can only rectify matters as of now. To do so, you will resume your official position as America's super soldier and have all your activities coordinated and assigned by this office. And Captain America says, but I've been acting autonomously for years now. And what happens if I don't accept your terms? And the guy says, what do you mean? You don't have a choice. And he says, of course I do. This is a free country. Ah, silly Captain America. It is not a free country. And he says, a free country governed by laws. You legally agreed to these terms, and they remain binding if you... and then this guy is telling him about your tax returns. And so he says, it has come to our attention that you were recently the recipient of almost $1 million of the taxpayers' money, owing to the fact that you were not officially declared dead when you disappeared in 1945. It should be obvious to you that since you were not actively serving in an official capacity, you were issued that money erroneously. And he says, I spent almost every cent of that money creating my national computer hotline. What are you saying? Oh, sorry. What you're saying is I must return the money? He says, not at all. When you return to work with us, we'll get our money's worth from you. And Captain America, I love the screen tones. Captain America says, and if I don't return to work, I'll have to forfeit the money. And he says, yes, the money, your uniform, your shield, your very name of Captain America, as we said, are rightfully ours. And he continues here, but why speak of the absurd? What reason could you possibly have to disobey a presidential mandate? Have you not pledged yourself to the service of your country? We are America, Rogers. We are your commanding officers. It had not even crossed our minds that you would have any difficulty obeying our directive. And Captain America says, I'm just used to operating with relative autonomy, sir. I have time to think before I give you my answer. And they, of course, give him 24 hours. Let's make one thing clear, Rogers, he continues. America needs a popular, high-profile mascot. Oh, my God. If you will not be that man, have no doubt we will find someone else to be Captain America. So this is the Super Patriot here doing push-ups on his fingers here. 503, 504. So they're, of course, interrupting the Wheel of Fortune to say about the gunman above the Washington Monument here. So he tells them, let's go stop him because this will give you the exposure that you so need. So, and here the police are watching him. And the funny thing is, they're like, oh yeah, he's got a gun, but why don't they, where's the sniper? They could shoot him. He's technically not loading this thing, so, or, you know, he's working on it, but that's alright. It's comic books here. Of course, he sees them, says he wasn't joking, so he takes a, oh my goodness gracious, a grenade here, and tosses it, and you can see it explodes here. So they're saying, this guy, he gets off a cab. Oh my God, this is so funny, still in uniform. And he's like, is you sure this is where you want to stay? And Captain America says, I'm on a budget. And the guy's like, you too? That's, I don't know why, but I find that funny. So, Steve's gonna call one of his friends, but she's not there. This guy offers to take a message, but Steve declines here. He wants to talk to somebody. He's thinking about maybe Nomad. He has no address. And other partners. You can see him here. I love the rotary phone here. Here's Sam Wilson, the Falcon. The Falcon says, you know, if you decide, you got to play by the rules. But if they ask you, they ask you to do something that you don't like, then maybe at that time bail. Now he's calling Nick Fury, but Nick Fury is not there. Dennis Dunphy here. He says he doesn't really know what kind of advice to give him, but I'm sure that whatever he decides will be the right thing. Hawkeye's not there, so he leaves a message, and of course he calls the Avengers and talks with Captain Marvel here. She's currently the leader of the Avengers. She offers to get in the number of the lawyer. So he's like, who would have thought I would need to consult a lawyer to advise them if my country is being straight with me? He says, no, those men are not my country. They're paid bureaucrats. Amen, brother. Of the country's current administration. They represent the country's political system. Doesn't it always, though? I mean, life does it. People, I am very cynical. For those of you that listen to me, I say it all the time. Either party, doesn't matter. Power craves power. Those that don't have power want power. Those that have power want to keep power. That's how it works. Don't go around thinking that if you vote red, it'll be this, and if you vote blue, it'll be that. I am quite cynical when it comes to politics. So he's like, you know, he represents liberty, justice, dignity, the pursuit of happiness. He's not basically political football here. Then we go back to the other guy. This guy's here saying America's becoming a nation of wimps and bunglers. So this guy wants more stuff. So basically he is just saying how America has to, like, be more powerful. So of course, now here comes the Super Patriot. You can see that it's windy and it's raining. I mean, it's been windy and raining, but of course, Super Patriot's like, I'm brave, but I'm not stupid. The radio says he claims to have a nuke that he'll detonate if anyone tries to interfere. you'd have to be just as nutty as he is to want to go up there and play patty cake with him. And this guy's like, think positive. This will make you a national hero. Now, real quick, if he really did have a nuclear weapon of some kind, get out of the city. So, of course, he's like, I am super patriot. I want to go help. And he's like, I never heard of you. And he shows that he's powerful. And the cop's not impressed here. He says, real cute, but that won't mean spit to a guy with a nuclear bomb. Now get lost before I book you for destroying city property. So he's like, well, they didn't want my help. Let's get out of town before it blows. So now we're in the afternoon. Steve Rogers still thinking of what to do. So he's basically weighing in the pros and cons of this. Some of the stuff that he's could do, or they might have him do, like leaving the Avengers, and then doing. You can see here sending him to war, where he's having to weapons, give up the hotline. He's saying he'd have to give up. He'd have to ask Tony for the $1 million to pay the government back, and then become somebody else like Nomad, and then he'd have to watch somebody else become Captain America. And so the lawyer calls him and says, what I need before I can proceed is a copy of the agreement you signed in 1945. I'm quite confident that no matter what it says, we could fight it in court. What I see as the real issue is who owns Captain America concept, those who created it in abstract, or you who created it in the concrete. So after some time, he hangs up. And so back to the Washington Monument here. So Super Patriot's back. Ethan convinced him to do the right thing. So he's going to, you can see here, he jumps over the police officer and he's going to go there. He breaks the door and he's going to climb up the stairs here to get to the guy. The guy's been exploding fireworks, but warning them that there'll be real fireworks after that here. So, and now he's shooting at the police officers. This guy's here is asking, "Hey, where the heck did you get a nuclear device?" And so he says, "I do have one, and I got it from Advanced Idea Mechanics, who we know as AIM. And they're, of course, a terrorist group in comic books." And so, and Captain America is still pondering stuff. He's unaware, I guess, of the stuff happening. He realizes he hasn't eaten, but he doesn't want to do anything until he sorts out what to do. Captain America decides to call another person. He says, "Hi, Mrs. Ridley, this is Captain America. Is your son home from school? Could I talk to him?" So he's, of course, the one that does the hotline. The kid's very excited, and he volunteers to help Cap, or talk with him. And so Cap explains it to him. Ultimately, he knows that he can, if he agrees, he's going to have to do whatever they tell him. So he's got to think about it some more. We're back with the Super Patriot. You can see him here tying a rope to himself, and so off he goes. By the way, I really do like this costume. And so he breaks the glass, and he's gonna climb up, kind of like Wolverine, or with those kind of claws like Wolverine here. So look at him, he's just on a table. Good Jesus. All right, so he sees Super Patriot, so he starts to shoot, and the guy's like, "You're dead, creep. They're gonna be scraping you off the ground with butter knives." And so And I think he's afraid of heights because he keeps saying, don't look down, don't look down. So he takes out one of the ninja stars, as they're called, and throws it at the guy, kind of hitting him, knocking him. And so he shoots, but he's wearing armor. And then you can see here he grabs the thing and makes the guy fall. And the guy's like, I'm gonna die like a man. And he opens up one of the grenades and basically commits a suicide. And so he grabs the nuke and comes down. And so he hopes that they can disable it, and gives it, I think he gives it to this guy here, who's in charge. The next morning, Captain America's in his civilian clothes, and he gets the newspaper, and he realizes all he missed, and he's going into the commission. They've been waiting for him. He's wearing his civil, so you basically know what he's going to do here. Captain America puts this on the table. He zips it up. And here is his shield and his uniform. And he walks away here. And so we get to the end of the issue. Real quick here, he basically leaves, or he basically says, I suppose I could read it here. I have given the matter we discussed yesterday a great deal of thought, and I regret to say that in good conscience I cannot accept your conditions of employment. Captain America was created to be a soldier, but I have made it more than that. He doesn't want to return to be a soldier. And to serve the country their way, he has to give up his freedom to do that. And of course, compromise his ideals in order to obey the orders. So he's not there just to represent the government or the president. He represents the American people. Very idealist. I like that. He represents the American dream. The freedom to strive to become all that you dream of being. Being Captain America has been my American dream. And he says, to become what you want me to be, I would have to compromise that dream. And so he refuses to compromise his beliefs. So he says, gentlemen, I believe these are yours. 8/12, the end of an era. Captain America 332. From 1987, Mark Gruenwald, Tom Morgan, penciler. So, what do you guys think of this? This is the climax to this story, but we're going to continue past this because this is really good stuff. So, anyway, like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.